Welcome. I'm Barbara Gon Mueller, and you're listening to peacepodcast.org. What if our world could be based on love? What if you felt the love for the world and put that into your heart? Would all your actions be different? Would you be the same if you felt in love with the world and fell in love with your community? As you know, Peace Podcast is about happiness, health, and a mutually survived world, a world that everybody has peace, harmony, and enough food. And today's guest, Grace Lynn, is a very special person to me because I met her through Tammy Briggs. Tammy Briggs is a harpist who allows us once a month to get together, and she plays this harp music that you can't even do anything except close your eyes and be one with each other. Grace Lynn, I welcome you.
Well, thank you, Barbara. I feel grateful and happy to be here today.
Grace Lynn and I are on Tammy's meditation the first Monday of each month. And when we sit there, I see Grace doing something. She's checking to see our vibration. Has it spread around the world? Can you imagine anybody checking our global love wave, for want of a better way to describe it? She's an author. She's a convener of Zoom calls. She's a lady who has just been to Costa Rica with Tammy to discover the beauty of nature. And with that, Tammy and Grace, I always say, bless you and thank you for being in my life. Grace, what's the name of your book?
The name of the book is called Personal Heart Power, Transforming to a Love-Focused Life.
Transforming to a love-focused life. That's how I live my life. And people say, how come you have so many friends? I says, because I love them. And that's why I started peacepodcast.org, because I love talking to people like Grace. Grace, if I were to ask you a question about what motivated you to get into peace, what would you say?
Well, I was living a life, I grew up in a mode of fear. We call the mode of fear and lower vibrational energies. And I was seeking for something different. I was seeking for a life I could feel safe in, I could love and enjoy in, and feel that peace. And so my about 30 years, I've been on my personal growth journey, looking for peace and love and really cultivating a love-focused life.
A love-focused life. Well, we love our children, we love our family, but a love-focused life. Tell me more about that. Does that increase our personal power?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Because personal heart power itself is when we are operating with a calm and peaceful mind, and it's connecting to our personal heart. And in this work, personal heart is our energetic sensory sensor that takes in all the vibrational energy from our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors, as well as taking in energy from outside sources like other people's energy or other situations. And when we can manage that energy in our personal heart to be more higher vibrational, more full of love, joy, and peace, then that's when we can create that love focused life we desire.
Well, imagine your life being rooted in love, regardless of what's going on around you. Tell me about how do you raise your vibration so that you can attract what you want?
Well, first thing is noticing when you're in lower vibrational thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And we don't judge vibrational energy as good or bad. Lower is not bad, higher is not good. It just gives us information. So if our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors tend to be lower vibrational, we tend to feel tired and exhausted, angry. When we're in higher vibrational energy fields of love, joy, compassion, peace, gratitude, then we feel vibrant, we feel healthy and energized. So it's being aware of, oh, right now we call it the mode of fear, the lower vibrational energies. And then we call the mode of love when we're in the higher vibrational energies. So the first key is just being aware. When am I stuck in the lower vibrational energies of my thoughts, feelings, and behaviors? And then making a conscious choice to shift into more higher vibrational thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And making those little choices over time can help us shift from living a fear based life into a love focused life.
Wonderful. I just can't even speak because I'm so in love with what you're saying. You're the author of Personal Heart Power. You're the co-founder of Global Heart Team, the creator of Loving Journey program. She has an MS in education in the University of Kentucky in 1990 and physical therapy. So you really are in tune to the whole body, aren't you? If you have a degree in physical therapy, because I think our body, I'm reading a book called your body remembers.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you've had a traumatic experience, how can you go back to the love that you know you deserve and make that something that you may share that love and put that in the back seat? Or what do you do with a traumatic time in your life?
So the body does store the energy of the trauma. So the key is, how do I release this stored up energy, pent up energy, whether it be thoughts, feelings, in our body, and how do I release it effectively? And there's a lot of different modalities people use to do that processing. You can do emotional processing. You can do breath work. You can do somatic releases through yoga, through other different practices to let that energy out. And again, no judging it. It's just, oh, to process through it to get back to balance.
To get back to balance. I think that's the process that is hard for people who have experienced a traumatic experience. Yet I remember interviewing one of our Rotary International presidents, and he said that he was in Rwanda, and he said, I don't know how these people can survive. And when I believe in peace, how is that going to happen? So I went to a village, and there was a woman who was a victim of this traumatic experience, and she was of service. And he said, when you are of service, your trauma becomes a tool to help you be of service to others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can have compassion and empathy who are going through similar traumas. And also, a big part of it is forgiveness. Can I let go of the whatever happened to me being different than what it was? And can I learn the wisdom from that experience and carry that with me, but forgive and let go of what I no longer serves me?
You know, that just makes me want to cry, and I don't know why, because it's like we've all had experiences that were not our choice because we were little. Maybe something happened when we were a small child. And that forgiveness, Robert Mueller, my late husband, the Assistant Secretary General at the United Nations, said, forgiveness is the highest vibration you can experience. Now, that even sounds like it's a little more expressive than love.
Well, it could be. It could be. It's
Maybe,
definitely higher vibrational quality.
and maybe forgiveness comes from love, or love comes from forgiveness. Maybe they're so intertwined.
Well, love is the energetic fuel to forgive. We can't forgive when we're in fear, but we can forgive when we're in the mode of love in those higher vibrational energy fields.
And what's your philosophy for how do you always look so beautiful, vibrant, and you're on these meditations with me and you're checking our global love wave? How do you do that?
Well, it's just making simple choices each day, making the higher vibrational choices for my thoughts, for my feelings, and my behaviors. And I'm not perfect by any means. I'm not perfect, but it's just consciously practicing these higher vibrational behaviors, feelings, and thoughts to be rooted in love, even when life is challenging. Because when we're rooted in love, we're in the parasympathetic nervous system. And so we can look at more opportunities, more possibilities. When we're stuck in the sympathetic nervous system, that fight, flight, and freeze system, we only have three choices: to fight, to flight, or freeze. And so if I can be in more the mode of love, even during challenging times, I have more opportunities to make different choices to keep myself in balance.
Boy, that brings up two stories in my personal life. One is my Aunt Mary. Um, my Aunt Mary was a smile meditator. She would say, if you don't like something, sit down and smile because your subconscious doesn't know any better and it thinks you're happy. So she taught me at a very young age to smile all the time. And, you know, I take an exercise class, a swimming exercise class for aerobics and all of that. And everybody says, you always smiling. And I said, well, my Aunt Mary taught me that. Why? Because when you smile, there's something that happens psychologically and physically, right?
Yeah, smiling is a high vibrational behavior. And it also releases the oxytocin and dopamine to feel good, those neurotransmitters that make us feel good by smiling. And then when we smile at someone else and they smile back, we receive that loving energy from them in their smile. That's why it's so good to be around people who smile.
You receive their loving energy. You know, I have noticed as I walk around with a smile on my face. I don't do this in New York too much because everybody said, don't be smiling in New York. And I said, oh, never mind. I'll just smile if I want. But I notice that when I smile, other people smile. Even driving in my car, when I'm smiling, I'll get somebody looking at me twice because they see a smile and I'm driving my car. And I heard from a person who knows about our muscle structure. He said it takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown.
Mhm.
My grandmother always, these are so personal stories. My grandmother always said, "You're going to have the face you deserve, Barbara, and so smile." So there you go. So, you have worked with my friend who started the Love Foundation. What is his
Mhm.
name? And tell me.
Harold Yeah, Harold Becker, beautiful soul, beautiful love beacon, who started his organization 25 years ago. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary right now, the Love Foundation. And then they started the Global Love Day, which is this May 1st. And so last year, for the first time, the Global Heart Team, which I'm the co-founder, started. We did a 1 hour on May 1st. So this year, we're thinking 1 hour is great. What about 12 hours? So we're doing a Global Love Day marathon this coming May 1st. And Harold and the Love Foundation is taking the first hour at 10 o'clock Eastern time on the Connection Field Zoom call.
Oh my, Connection Flow. This is another team you started.
No,
And
sorry, Connection Field. I'm just a part of it. I was in the when it began in the COVID, that
talk
March of
about that a little bit, being a part of something bigger than ourselves. Talk about that, the connection.
Yeah, so the connection feels where people who are love focused and peace minded come together and share our wisdom, our thoughts, our gifts with each other. We want to co create this love focused humanity. And if we share in love connection, it's easy to do that, to co create a love focused humanity together.
Isn't that beautiful? I was just sitting, I'm on the board of the International Cities of Peace, and I don't know if you're on the International Cities of Peace. It's a one form, one page, and you have three people from your community. And Santa Barbara is number 323 on the International Cities of Peace. And just go to International Cities of Peace and go to 323, and you'll see it's a simple form that you fill out and you become an International City of Peace. We now have almost 500 International Cities of Peace, started by citizens, not by boards of directors, not by presidents of the United States or any other thing. It's a citizens movement, and it matches what you're doing.
Mhm. That's wonderful. I'll look it up.
ICP.org, Global Love Wave. Now, you said that Herbert is going to do something on May 1. That's the Global Love Day, isn't it?
That's a global level. Yeah, Howard them set that. This is the 21st year of that celebration of Global Love Day.
So this is the 25th anniversary. I've had him on Peace Podcast. He's fabulous. And he truly believes that love is the answer, just as you do. And so if
Mhm.
people want to find out more about you, your book, where would we go?
You can go to globalheartteam.org for my Global Heart Team information, for the book, personalheartpower.com. And for the Global Love Wave, if you want to sign up, we have right now 444 love beacons around the world that are pledging daily to do the 5 breaths of love. It's a 2-minute practice to put more love into the world, to your family, your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, and all the people around the world.
Was
And
that what
so,
I saw you doing on Tammy's meditation last night?
well,
That
last night I was doing the breath work during the meditation. I was doing the peace 5 breaths of love during the meditation. Yeah. And to find out more about that, go to globallovewave.com.
oh, there's so many
Find
things.
the love beacon.
Okay, let's go back. Globallovewave.com.
And that's to become a love beacon. It's free. You just sign up and you say, I pledge to do daily just a 2-minute breathing practice where you're breathing in love for yourself. And on the exhale, you're sending it out to your family, friends,
That is the
neighbors.
.org, globallovewave.org.
Globallovewave.com. Mm-hmm.
And then your book.
Personalheartpower.com.
All right. .com. And last but not least, connection practice.
Oh, the connectionfield.net. Connectionfield.net. Yeah.
I just can't believe it. .net. This is so beautiful. Now, if you're not falling in love with this beautiful Grace Lynn, I'm just surprised because I'm in love with Grace Lynn and smiling. I started today and I'm thinking, wow, this is the first time my computers have let me down. They just don't want to give me everything I need to know about Grace. So I said, I'm going to have a love conversation with Grace. And that's what we're doing. When you're in a situation where you don't think you can handle it, just smile, see what happens. Your brain will think, and I'm going to give one other story. This is a story that kept me doing things that I needed to do in times of stress. My late husband, Robert Mueller, wrote the book Most of all, they taught me happiness. And his birthday is coming up. He would have been 102 had he lived. And anyway, every life has so much meaning, and his did. Well, he told me the story so many times I have it memorized. And that is when he was in the French resistance during that horrible war. And he said, they came to arrest me. I knew it because I was a French resistor and I was trying to keep peace on the planet. And he said they came to the hotel where I was being working. And then I said to my secretary, well, I know they're here to arrest me, the Gestapo. And I said, I'm going to go. He said, I'm going up to the top floor and you tell me if they really are here to arrest me. And she sent somebody up and they said, they're looking for you. And he said, I'm only 18 years old. I must be really important. So they must need something that they would not expect. I have to do something they wouldn't expect. So the first thing I'm going to do is be happy
Oh.
to arrest me. And he started to smile and he said, when you're happy, your brain can think.
Mhm.
And he said, what could I do that they wouldn't expect? And he combed his hair in a way. He took a file folder under his arm, smoked a cigarette, and walked down the long stairway and walked into the office and asked his secretary, what's going on in this house? Oh, they're looking for Louis Potazone. Oh, Louis Potazone, I just saw him on the third floor. All the Germans ran up to the third floor and he walked out the front door, rode a bicycle to freedom, and lived 88 years.
Oh my gosh.
But
That's a wonderful story.
if he wouldn't have been happy, he said, if I rolled myself up in the carpets, they're going to find me and shoot me. If I go on the roof, they're going to find me and shoot me. But they would never expect me to walk right down to them. That's the joy of happiness in the worst situation.
And that's what we call personal heart power because he had a calm mind with an open heart, and they didn't expect that. They were looking for somebody in the mode of fear, somebody that would cower down to them. They weren't expecting someone in the mode of love.
Isn't that amazing? Absolutely. And how did you phrase that in the mode of love?
Mode of love, when we're operating in higher vibrational energies, like love, joy, and peace, and the smile is a higher vibrational behavior. So he was operating the mode of love, so he had more information that he could do to get away.
Isn't that interesting how the body, the mind, when they work together in this harmony,
Hmm.
it's like they produce the results we're looking for.
Yes.
And if
Yeah.
we could all fall in love with our planet, then we
Hmm.
would protect her like we protect our children. All fall in love with our neighborhood, our community, we would protect them as best we can, as you are doing, and share our wisdom. And at the end of our program, Grace, and I love what you've been saying today. I'm going to watch this podcast myself. I love it so much. Anyway, Grace, if you were the magician of love and happiness, what would you want our world to be in 20 years from now?
Oh, that's easy, Barbara. I want it to be a love focused humanity where we focus and we model loving ourselves and loving others unconditionally. And when we live in that environment, oh, it's a beautiful place. If we have a love focused humanity with peace and joy and happiness, that's the world I want to create.
And that's the world I hope we have and know we can produce. I say that with the word hope because so many people need hope right now. And
Mhm.
I know you get hope when you smile, you get hope when you're of service, as Gordon McAnally did when he went to Rwanda and he saw this victim of the horrible tragedies that were happening to the young girls. And she was of service to helping one of the people who had been wounded. When you are of service, there's something that happens. When you have a goal bigger than yourself, there's something that happens. The universe supports you. Do you find that happening in your life, Grace?
Yes, synchronistic moments happen all the time. Yeah. And that's when you know when you're in the mode of love too, when these synchronistic moments happen. Yeah.
Like
Magic happens.
synchronicity. Like last night, I'm on Tammy's meditation and I look at Grace and I say, Grace has the book our world needs now. Hold up your book again, Grace. She has the book our world needs, Personal Heart Power. And guess what, people? You all have a heart, so you can use something. This isn't go out and buy something new on Amazon. This is use what you were given at birth. Use that heart for what it was meant for. It was meant to beat in rhythm with who you are. And I think our heart rhythms affect the way we feel. And I think the way we feel affects our heart rhythms.
Totally. When we're in the mode of love, those higher vibrational energies, our heart is in heart resonance, has this nice, reliable, pattern. But when we're at coherence, they call it heart math calls it heart coherence. But when we're in the mode of fear, it's erratic. Our heart is usually higher rate and erratic, and we don't feel safe. We feel in fear.
Wow. And with that, I'm going to thank all of you who are watching this today. As you heard, Grace Lynn said that we could be in on a 12-hour love fest
Mhm.
with Herbert. Herbert has been on Peace Podcast. You'll find him if you go to
Harold Becker. Harold Becker.
CKER. You'll view him, and I probably will get him on again because May's coming up, and it's time for us to share the love we have. You know, we were born out of love, and in being born out of love helps you remember that you are love, and the heart is so powerful. And I try to think with my heart, although sometimes I do get into my brain. But my heart kind of keeps me sane, for want of a better way to describe it, and it keeps me happy in my smile. I say, thank you, Aunt Mary, for the smile meditation. And Grace, do you have a final word for today?
No, I just wish everyone a love-focused life, and may your life be full of love, joy, peace, and happiness.
Boy, that's a mouthful and a perfect way to end our podcast today. We are now at Peace Podcast 161. And you tell your friends, go to peacepodcast.org and or else come to your house and you watch the story with Grace, because you will be so motivated to smile more. You'll be so motivated to love yourself.
Mhm.
It's not about what you possess. It's about what you feel, about what you can do for the world and be of service. And with that, I thank you. I thank all of you for joining us today. And I thank you especially, Grace.
And thank you, Barbara, for having me here to share more love out into the world.
Thank you all for listening. And I hope you will remember it's about us, it's about love, and it's about the moments that we have, these precious, precious moments to share our peace and our love. Thank you for joining us. See you next week. Thanks, Grace.
Thank you, Barbara.
My pleasure.